Hello guys, how are you doing? We are now in chapter 5 and the title of our lesson is the global issues that concern schools and society. For the learning outcomes at the end of this chapter, you should be able to discuss at least two global issues in society and explain proposed solutions to the social problems. As we begin, the world has become a global village. We have become a citizen of a global community. What takes place in one part of the globe, no matter how far, affects us. It is like a song. It's a small word after all. Do you remember that song? In this chapter, we will discuss global issues that affect school and society. It is hoped that you are able to propose solution to the social problems which also are present global issues. Here are the top 10 world issues according to millennials based on the World Economic Forum's Global Shift Survey in 2017. Number 1, climate change, destruction of nature. Number 2, large-scale conflict. Wars. Number 3, inequality. 4, poverty. 5, religious conflicts. 6, government accountability and transparency, corruption. 7, food and water security. 8, lack of education. 9, safety, security, well-being. 10, lack of economic opportunity and employment. Another source for top 10 current global issues according to Chloe Turner. Number 1, climate change. Number 2, pollution. 3, violence. 4, security and well-being. 5, lack of education. 6, unemployment. 7, government corruption. 8, malnourishment and hunger. 9, substance abuse. And 10, terrorism. Here are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals for the period of 2015 to 2030. Number 1, end poverty in all forms everywhere. 2, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. 3, ensure health living and promote well-being for all and all ages. 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. 8, promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. 11, make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. 14, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, marine resources, and sustainable development. 15, protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem, sustainably manage forest, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. 17, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. And now let us discuss more further about the top 10 global issues and how they can be addressed. The climate change. The global temperature are rising and are estimated to increase from 2.6 degrees Celsius to 4.8 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. This would be the cost of more severe weather, crisis with food and resources, and the spread of diseases. The reduction of greenhouse emission and the spreading of education on the importance of going green can help us make a big difference. Lobbying government and discussing policies to reduce carbon emission and encouraging reforestation is an effective way of making progress with this issue. Pollution. Pollution includes ocean litter, pesticide and fertilizer, air, light and noise pollution. Clean water is essential for human and animals, but more than 1 billion people don't have access to clean water due to pollution from toxic substances, sewage, and industrial waste. So we are responsible for every action that we are doing. Violence. Violence can be found in the social, cultural, and economic aspects of the world. Here are the various forms of violence. physical violence, sexual violence, emotional violence, psychological violence, spiritual violence, and cultural violence. The security and well being. The United Nations is a perfect example of what should be done to prevent the lack of security and well being as a serious global issue. Through this effort with regional organizations and representatives that are skilled in security, the UN is working toward increasing the well being of people throughout the world. Lack of education. More than 72 million children throughout the globe that are of the age to be in the primary education are not enrolled in school. This can be attributed to inequality and marginalization as well as poverty. Fortunately, there are many organizations that work directly with the issue of education in providing the proper tools and resources to aid this growth. Unemployment. Without the necessary educational skills for employment, many people, particularly 15 to 24 years old, struggle to find job and create a proper living for themselves or for their family. This leads a lack of necessary resources such as enough food, clothing, transportation, and proper living condition. Government corruption. Corruption can be detrimental to the safety and well-being of citizens living within the corrupt vicinity and can be cause of increase in violence and physical threats without as much regulation in the government. The Philippines ranked 94 out of 177 countries in Transparency International's 2013 Corruption Index. Malnutrition and hunger. Currently, there are 795 million people who do not have enough food to eat. Long-term success to ending world hunger starts with ending poverty. Malnutrition in all forms includes undernutrition, wasting, underweight, stunting, inadequate vitamin and mineral, overweight, obesity, and resulting diet-related non-communicable diseases. Substance abuse. Substance abuse is the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs, according to WHO, World Health Organization. The United Nations reports that by the beginning of the 21st century, an estimated 185 million people over the age of 15 were consuming drugs globally. In the Philippines, this is the huge problem on the substance abuse. And last, terrorism. This is an issue throughout the world that causes fear and insecurity, violence, and death. Across the globe, terrorists attack innocent people without giving any warning. This makes civilians feel defenseless in their everyday living. Making national security a higher priority is the key in combating terrorism. Global issues, Sustainable Development Goals 2015-2030, and education. In September 2015, the General Assembly adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and includes 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Building on the principles of leaving no behind, and the new agenda emphasizes the holistic approach to achieving sustainable development. The realization of the 17 SDGs means solving the top global issues cited by the two sources. These global issues and the SDGs 2015-2030 must be intentionally taught in the school because they are made part of the curriculum. There we have it, the chapter 5, the global issues that concern schools and society. Thank you for listening. See you again online next time.